Getting enough folate in your diet is very important for a number of reasons I'm going to tell you about in this video. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician with 20 years of clinical experience, and in this video I'm going to give you a list of folate-rich foods that you can enjoy on a carnivore, ketovore, or keto diet. There are a number of symptoms of having low levels of folate in your blood. They include fatigue, gray hair, mouth sores, tongue swelling, growth problems, persistent fatigue or weakness, lethargy, pale skin, shortness of breath, and even irritability. There's a worrisome list of health problems that can result with chronically low levels of folate in your blood. They include birth defects, which you've probably heard of in news stories in years past. Also fertility, the formation of sperm in males and eggs in females, both require a good source of folate, and so decreased fertility in men and women can result from low folate levels. An increased level of heart disease has been shown in some studies. An increased incidence of stroke has been shown in some studies. An increased incidence of cancer has been shown in some studies from low folate levels. And also several neurological disorders are intimately related with chronically low levels of folate. Now you may be wondering why I'm referring to this as folate instead of folic acid, and there's a very important reason for that. Folate is a group of water-soluble vitamins known as the B9 vitamins. Folic acid is B9-like, but it's actually a step removed from being actual folate. All the folate that you'll find in foods is actually folate, and so your body can absorb it immediately through the mucosa of your small intestine. If you are getting your folate in the form of folic acid, then it actually has to be transported to the liver, where an enzyme has to act on it and convert it into folate. Now, why this is so important is that many people in the world have a deficiency of this enzyme, or the enzyme doesn't work very efficiently. And so even though they're getting lots of folic acid in their diet, they're not getting enough folate, which is the usable form of the B9 vitamins. Many people around the world think that they're getting adequate supplies of folate because they eat lots of folic acid fortified foods, including bread, cereals, rice, and pasta. And indeed, if you look up the folate content of these things, it'll show a really high number. And so you think, well, there you go, I'm getting plenty of folate. But refer back to what I talked about previously. You may not be getting enough of the usable folate if all you're getting is folic acid from a supplement or from a folic acid fortified food. Here's a National Institutes of Health chart that shows how much folate you should be getting based on your age and whether you are pregnant or lactating or breastfeeding. If you don't find yourself before this chart disappears, you can go back and watch this part again and pause the video and figure out how much folate you should be getting each day. Now let's talk about the foods where you can get good sources of folate in your diet naturally, and so you don't have to waste money on a folic acid supplement or have the false assurance that you're getting plenty of folate from a folic acid fortified food. The number one food as a source for folate that I could find is chicken liver. And I'm going to be talking about all these foods in a 100-gram serving, which is the same as a 3.5-ounce serving of this food. And that way we get comparable numbers that you can actually figure out, okay, I can eat 100 grams of that, but I hate that. Well, you can mix and match these foods so that you wind up with your RDI of folate from eating a combination of these foods. So number one is chicken liver with 571 micrograms of folate per 100 gram serving. The next is beef liver with 258 micrograms per 100 grams. The next is fish roe or salmon. All varieties have about 80 micrograms per 100 gram serving. The next is eggs. 100-gram serving of eggs has 71 micrograms of folic acid. And then number 5 is any cut of meat from any species and pretty much any cheese is going to have somewhere between 10 and 50 micrograms of folic acid. So any meat you eat, you're getting at least a little bit of folate in your diet that is perfectly absorbable and usable by your body. Now, that's the carnivore options. Let's add in some keto options, keeping in mind that any carnivore option is also a ketovore or ketogenic diet option. Number 6 is spinach. And pretty much any dark leafy green is going to have about 190 micrograms per 100 gram serving. Number 7 is any brassica. So Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, they're going to have about 60 micrograms per 100 gram serving. Number 8 is asparagus, a great source of folate for keto dieters. It has 149 micrograms per 100 gram serving. Number 9 is walnuts, which has 98 micrograms per serving. And then number 10 is hazelnuts. They have 88 micrograms per 100 grams serving. None of the foods I talked about above contain folic acid. They actually contain the real usable folate. So you can actually use these numbers with comfort and security, knowing that folate is what your body's actually looking for and actually able to use, and you don't get into the liver conversion problem of ingesting folic acid. As always, you're welcome to share this video on your social media if you think it will help other people live healthier lives. And you're also welcome to join me in the fight for good health and good nutrition for people all over the world by becoming a patron at patreon.com. There's a link down in the show notes. It's a quick sign up. You can throw a buck or two my way to help me have more time and more resources to continue this fight. This is Dr. Berry. I'll see you next time.